Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out today's broadcast. My name is Jonathan, and today is day 375 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. This is your first time checking out my channel, a little bit about me and the challenge. I'm 39 years old. Hey, Anthony, thanks for checking in real quick. Have a great day. Um, the 39 years old, married, have 4 children, and I've been overweight my whole life. Last year, it got to a point where I was at 500 plus pounds, and I knew I needed to do something about my weight. And over the years, I've done lots of things to lose weight and I've had success with losing weight, but I was never able to maintain that weight loss. I was never able to find out how to eat, or how, yeah, once I lost the weight, I just never, you know, a lot of times I would lose the weight by eating a very low calorie diet, and that is just not sustainable. So when I started this challenge, I knew that I needed to give myself time to lose the weight and then also time to maintain it. And so that's why I've challenged myself to stick with this for 3 years. The other big part of the challenge is that a lot of times I set goals that I feel like are realistic at the time, like, hey, I'm going to just diet for a couple months, or I'm going to, until this event happens, or I'm going to try to lose 50, 80, 100 pounds. And I would succeed a lot of times in those goals and get to what would be a better weight than what I was at, but I would still not be like at a goal weight. I wouldn't be really at what would be considered a much healthier or a normal kind of weight. And so that's why I challenged myself to lose 300 pounds. If anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to throw them up there. Any comments, how you're doing on your diets. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. Um, so far, I'm just over a year in. Like I said, I think I said I'm on day 375. Um, so I'm just over a year in, and I've lost 200 of the 300 pounds. Um, it has been an incredible change in this past year, and um I just it's just but yeah, it's been unexpected that I would lose this. But well, I don't know that it was unexpected. I felt like maybe the 200 was the high end of what I would lose, but uh the way I feel now is unexpected. I did not expect be feeling so good. So, also, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do get subscribed to the channel. Click on the bell icon, turn on notifications so you'll get alerted when I go live, which is generally at 4 p.m. Central during the week. Day is Wednesday. I'm not doing a weigh in until December 1st. I'm going to kind of just do monthly weigh ins. I think that's going to be best for me. Uh, just do them month to month versus doing them every week. So I will be weighing in on December 1st, my next weigh in. Um, the, since yesterday, this daylight savings, I keep talking about it, but it really sucks and it really screwed up my whole night. But the, we got home, I got home, and Carrie had made some what she talked about on the stream yesterday. It was like a broccoli and rotel with the cashew sauce. I think that would be, I can't remember what she called it, but we had that soup that she made. It was uh really good. It was extremely spicy. I think I might have talked about it a little bit on stream yesterday. Is we're trying to kind of get our kids, to try these foods, and we want them to try these foods that we are um, eating. And last night, like the soup, it was really good, and I think a lot of people would enjoy the soup, but it was very spicy with the rotel, and uh, it would have our kids probably would have had a hard time with it. Um, but I enjoyed it a lot. The only downside I would say is I didn't feel like it was as filling as I had hoped or as some of our other soups that we have are, but um flavor wise it was really good. Um and it was we hadn't I hadn't had broccoli I don't feel like in a while. So having cheesy rotel broccoli soup is what it was called. So here he says it but it was great. It was really good to do something or have something new. And that was, it's something that when I've done these diets in the past and I've lost the weight, a lot of times everything was on a routine and I was eating the same things over and over again. I would get up. Uh, Jin says that they love Rotel, but they are a wimp when it comes to spices. Yeah, it is. It was very spicy. I'm sure you probably put like tomato in it and a different spice, and it would be or if they sell a mild Rotel, I guess I didn't. But yeah, that would probably be better. Uh it would be good even without the spicy that we had with it. Was just going to talk about something and I didn't. Yes, okay, so the variety of the so I would get into a routine. I would get up, I can remember in college losing like my sophomore year of college, I lost, I think, 80 pounds. And I'd get up and I was on this whole pill regiment, but I would have plain bagel in the morning and then I wouldn't eat for X number of hours. And then I would have like a chicken breast or something. Like, I don't remember the exact foods, but I remember that I do remember the bagel because I would just get a plain regular bagel from the food court at the campus of the college I was going to. Um, and it it always surprised me at how much I enjoyed just a plain bagel with nothing on it. But that was, anyways. Uh, but I would be on this regiment, and everything was kind of set, and I would, uh, and I would be able to stick with it for a long time, and then I just get bored. I think it would just get more. It would get difficult to continue on, and the idea of something new would be so exciting and so hard to pass up, especially when you've stuck with something for 9 months and you feel like I kind of deserve it, or I feel like you should get some sort of um I should get some sort of reward for all of the what I felt like in these other diets, all the sacrifice that I went through by eating this low calorie diet and uh and for yeah, and just like a reward for doing, for all of the success. And it would just be, you would only do it one time or it would be this one thing. And with the diet that we're on now, I am I don't feel that way at all because we have new meals like the cheesy broccoli and rotel soup like we had last night. And it's like this crazy world of food opened up or variety of foods opened up that we never knew existed. And with the way that we eat, with it being a high volume low calorie diet, the I feel like we're able to try more things because there's so many different things that are low. Like on my old diets, uh, I would what I was eating was really high calorie stuff, and I was eating very little. Especially like in 2013, I lost a bunch of weight, and I was eating extremely low calorie, and the diet that I was eating was extremely unhealthy. It was uh, I had chips, and I was eating candy bars, and I was eating um, just like a Polish sausage a day. But it was like I had a regimen. I would get up in the morning. I don't even think I would eat in the mornings. I can't remember now. But I would get off of work and I would buy the same thing at the gas station uh on the way home, and then I'd get home and I'd have a sausage and I would just kind of continue that. And it really didn't dawn on me how much the medication I was taking at that time was really fueling that whole process. And once I got off the medication, uh then everything kind of fell apart. I was taking an appetite suppressant that I was seeing a doctor that they had prescribed it for me. And but there was no room for variety in my diet because I was eating a 600 calorie diet, and I there were things I didn't want to give up, or I didn't want to not have that. And so then there's really only 400 calories, or and with this diet I'm eating on average much higher calorie, and so I'm taking it slower. That's been one of my big goals. Is That's why I wanted to do it over 3 years, is because I wanted to do it slower. I I- I've always had it in the back of my head that if I could figure out how to eat like somebody who was 220 pounds, then eventually I would be 220 pounds. If every day somebody who was 220 pounds just wrote down what they ate and I ate that exact thing the next day, that eventually I would be that weight. But and uh and this diet kind of allows me to eat that volume that I crave, because for me, I just can't, like, the thought of eating less food, like uh that's what the thing, like, I may go, when I go to fast food, and when a fast food restaurant, and when somebody who's 180 pounds goes to a fast food restaurant, or 200 pounds goes to a fast food restaurant, they are going to buy different things than me. I'm going to buy a value meal and a chicken sandwich and maybe a side of onion rings or jalapeno poppers or something, cheese curd, something on the side, and they're just going to get, and I'm gonna get a large size too, and they just get a meal and they maybe don't get it large sized. Or if they do, they don't eat all of the fries, or they don't eat all of the sandwich. They just eat some of it. Like, I don't I don't think that I ever thought of, when somebody ordered a burger, that they wouldn't finish the whole thing, because I always finish the whole burger. Um, so anyways, I just am really happy with where this diet is right now, because I'm not bored. There's still the temptations, like what our kids are eating right now. They had the Impossible chicken nuggets, and there was an extra one on the counter, and I had that Impossible chicken nugget. I don't feel guilty about it. It was baked, it wasn't fried, and um it's just it's such a weird place that I'm in with the diet, because these foods like the Impossible chicken nugget, uh prior to starting this, if I'd have said that at one point during your diet you're going to be lamenting about, if I'm not sure if that's the right word, but you're going to be worried about whether or not eating a soy based or a plant based chicken nugget, you're worried about that being bad for your diet, then I would I would say I was crazy. Like, but um, but ordering chicken nuggets from McDonald's, that would be pretty bad. And so, when we try, or last night, Carrie had a new item for the kids, which was the cauliflower that was breaded and had like teriyaki sauce on it with sesame seeds. Um, and uh, the kids ate it, and I tried some of it because I wanted to see how it tasted. It was very sweet. It was extremely sweet for what my taste buds are adapted or used to having. But I wanted to know what it tasted like, and it was broccoli. Like, I'm not gonna feel bad about eating the broccoli. It wasn't broccoli, it was cauliflower. I don't know if I said cauliflower to begin or not. It was cauliflower, breaded cauliflower with, like a teriyaki sauce on it. Um, and so I tried it for a couple reasons. One, I I tried it because I there it was something new that Carrie had made, and I wanted to see what it tasted like. And then also I wanted to know if it was good or not, to see whether or not, if the kids complaining or not is justified. That's been one of the tough parts about our diet, and I think especially for Carrie, because she prepares this food, is that we and and I don't know if she's done it more recently, but for the first 9 months of doing this, she would make them food and not be able to taste test it because it had salt, oil, or sugar in it. And so then we're just kind of relying on the opinions of each child, whether or not they think it's good or not. We'll give them these nuggets, and one of them will say it's the best nuggets you ever had, and the other will be gagging on it in the corner. And so it's tough to know where they are, where it really is, or where the flavor lays, without trying it ourselves. So that was part of the reason why I had that last night. See if there was any reason for them to complain about it. There was not. It was really good tasting food, and I imagine that if she would have made more, they more of it. All of it was eaten. And maybe if gets a chance, she can share that recipe. Trying to make something for your family, or you're just eating plant based, then that cauliflower recipe would be pretty good. Um, and but yeah, so just the how weird is it that I am even worried about whether or not eating cauliflower was bad for me last. I'm not worried about it. Like, that's part of the where I'm at with the diet, is that if it's a plant-based thing, I'm gonna be okay with eating, because there's a lot of plant-based things that I have not had an opportunity. I'm not running out and buying uh any processed things, or we're not really bringing anything into our house that is overly processed. But um I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yes, especially if we end up getting in a position we have to go out to eat. Um, and so I talked about the food that we had last night. That was great soup, and then today, just back to the oatmeal this morning. Um, it's funny how it can vary, day to day based on the apples that we use, but it's always enjoyable breakfast. Steel cut oats with apples, bananas, and a little bit of almond butter mixed in. Always a good breakfast. Um, and then I had some toast. I really like having Ezekiel bread with peanut butter. I know Carrie can't hardly, pretty dry. Yes, doesn't eat it very often. Um, and then today at work, I ended up having uh we had some stuff set up in our warehouse that for the last couple months we've needed to get cleaned up, and just haven't gotten around to doing it. Today, finally had an opportunity to get some guys over here and work on it, boxing up the stuff that we had out and putting it away into a storage container that we have on our property. And it had been something that I wasn't necessarily that I was putting it off, but I was in no hurry to get it done. And I think a lot of it is kind of that mentality I still have of what it's going to be like to do something at 520 pounds. And so having them come over and box the stuff up beforehand, I was kind of thinking about, well, I'll just kind of tell them what to Carrie says it's just boring. You got to put a banana on my Ezekiel bread with peanut butter. She does like it with banana. Yeah. Um I'm just a boring guy, I guess. But yeah, we had them over here and they were boxing things up. And beforehand, I was kind of like, well, I'll just kind of give them directions and let them do things. The other, uh, so not only is, like I said, I have that mindset of being heavier and not, I would have gotten worn out or winded or exhausted fairly quickly. But I also did have surgery on my bicep tendon 3 months ago. So picking up boxes and moving them, I was a little bit hesitant um, because I didn't want to injure myself or hurt myself moving any boxes, picking anything up. And so before they got here, I was kind of trying to plan out what I was going to tell them to do or have them do. And then when they finally got over here and kind of got to working, I really kind of stepped right in and was doing a lot more than I anticipated doing beforehand. And uh, I did great. My arm right now is a little bit sore, but it's not like it's like just I used it a lot kind of sore. It just hasn't been used in really much way at all for the last 3 months. And then I had physical therapy last week that we used some weights and did some kind of exercises with it. I should probably find we have a kettlebell. I think my son has like a little exercise weight that I need to get from him. Uh to just do some bicep strengthening things. But so it's a little bit sore right now, nothing that's going to be unbearable. Hopefully, it doesn't get too bad over the next day or so. But I'm happy that I was able to do as well as I did. And um, really, I did a lot of walking and moving around. My watch is actually dead now, so I can't tell you anything about what the actual numbers are. But my Garmin watch, uh, it went off like it does. So Carrie was over here helping us load up the truck, and she says, "I'm the expert packer," or yeah, I am the expert packer, and she was so impressed. So, um, I run a moving company. Should know a little bit about how to pack. Anyways, she's just never around to see me do it. And I haven't done it much in a while. So my watch, it kind of sets a step goal for each day. I think it kind of just takes whatever you've done the last few days, averages it out, and then adds whatever 10%, or it kind of creeps up the goal. I think that it would continually tell me to do more and more until it got to like infinity. So I don't think there's any science behind it. But anyways, um it went off at like noon today because my activity by noon today was, you know, way above the activity that I've been doing the last so it was nice to get up, kind of do that walking around, having to do some stretching, bending over, picking things up or lifting things up over my head. Just things I haven't really done much of in the past few months, especially with my arm. But overall, I really hadn't done, like I said, even if I didn't have the bicep thing prior to doing this challenge, I would have had the guys that came over to help doing a lot of that work without me uh, being involved. So, um, but it was nice, and it was nice to uh, to get a little bit of work done. I don't feel like we did all kinds of work and we cleared all kinds of stuff out, but the warehouse is a mess still, and I'm gonna have to deal with that um sometime in the next few days. But how that goes. I kind of skipped over uh the daylight savings and just uh I don't know. It's and every year, twice a year, it screws with people, and uh, I'm sure that people complain about it all the time. But yesterday, again, got home. It was dark. I ended up. So we have a dog that's fairly large. She's a young dog, but she's large, and she needed to have her hair cut, and I don't know, cheap, and so I have clippers that I got for her that they weren't cheap, but I figure that if they last for, multiple shavings, that it'll save me money versus going to a groomer. Anyways, I shaved kind of her body and her tail yesterday. I had shaved her head the other day. It's a lot of hair, and so and it's also she's young, and so she's just not used to having this happen. Having somebody with a hair clippers cut her hair. But I just, I got into it yesterday. Was really focusing on trying to get her body shaved, and I don't know if it was like some sort of vortex of time that I came out, and it was like 2 hours later, and the dog still needs more to be shaved off her. But anyways, um, so I ended up putting the kids to bed later than expected, and I actually just fell asleep last night. Like I was the way it's set up, there's a air like I put the younger kids to bed, and then I kind of lay down next to their room uh while they go to bed, and I just play around on my phone. And I fell asleep yesterday uh waiting for them to fall asleep. I woke up and it was like a quarter to midnight, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed, I guess. But I probably fell asleep at like 9:15 yesterday, and then but that would have been like 10:15, I guess, which wouldn't have been totally unreasonable before. Uh and then yeah, I fell asleep on the and when I got up, I was like, yeah, going to bed. So I went to bed and slept in. I got up fairly early this morning, but that daylight savings is still not used to it. Kids are still kind of out of whack with it too, I think, throwing them off, but it hasn't affected us too much. It's easy. It's the way it's set up. In the fall here, it's kind of easier in the mornings. We were up extremely early this morning. I think I was up and out of bed uh probably a half hour before I normally would have been. Uh just because, well, I went to bed an hour before I normally would have gone to bed. Um, Carrie said the monsters went to bed late and woke up early. Yeah, I put them to bed late and passed out, and they were up extremely early. So, anyways, that was kind of the evening for us. The day today was good. I should be back on tomorrow. I don't see any reason why I won't be on tomorrow. It's kind of a holiday around here, I guess. I can't remember if it's Veterans Day. Um, yeah, it's Veterans Day. So it's Veterans Day tomorrow. I will be live at 4 p.m. Um, Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you get subscribed to the channel. Click on the thumbs up icon to like the video. Click on the bell icon so you get notified when I go live. Um, do all those YouTube things. Um, and I'll be on tomorrow. Thanks, guys, for checking out the broadcast. If you haven't started a diet yet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. Nothing coming up that's more important than getting your health and well-being under control. Nobody gets to their goal weight, or nobody finishes or does, figures it out, I guess, and at the end says, I wish I would have waited. Every single person says, wish I'd have known this sooner. I wish I would have known how good I was going to feel sooner. I would have done this years ago. So get started right now. You guys all have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.